by the beach with my family. My mum is a teacher, my father was an Aboriginal liaison officer, and I grew up with my brother, so we always had each other to deal with things. So for me, having my mum as a teacher and studying, making herself better in hope that we'd be better, that's always been an incredible influence on my life. Surfing and the ocean has come from my father's side because he's a surfer, so when we were younger we were always at the beach surfing, swimming, planning around, so that's always been a huge part of my life and a part of who I am. I've been really lucky because I've been lucky enough to travel, I've been lucky enough to come from an amazing family, and I've been lucky enough to be presented with so many opportunities while I've been growing up. Probably the biggest one that I've been taught is through my family, just about the importance of family at the end of the day, pretty much, and looking out for others. You know, at the end of the day, you know, there's nothing more important than human life, and to me, you know, being nice to people and just genuine and honest, I think that's my biggest thing, and I've learnt that through travelling. I've got to extend that when I've been overseas and surfing in other countries and thrown in the deep end in other cultures. So yeah, I think that's why I've formed such strong bonds with everyone I've met along the way, I think. For me, learning has always been about just being a better person and being a better influence to those around me. I mean, I don't know of many Aboriginal female teachers. I know a few, but from the community where I come from in Coffs Harbour and Torres, there's not many. So for me, always, I'm trying to reach the goal of becoming a teacher and just, you know, showing the young Koori kids that they can reach that one day if they really want to. You know, there's absolutely no rule that says that they can't do it. Personally, want to be around surfing and establishing a better system, if that's what you'd call it, a better system, a better process for Indigenous surfers in Australia. I'd really like to be on the pathway to fixing that, because it has been done before, but there just wasn't enough strength behind it, enough backing from whoever's up there. But so realistically, I'm not in that at the moment, and that's where I really want to be. Just as I said, yeah, establishing something for the Indigenous surfers, because at the moment there's not a lot out there for them, unfortunately. And teaching, I've really got a long way to go, but one day I'll hopefully be a teacher, helping little kids. So for me, at uni, the main things that have been amazing have been the fact that for me being Indigenous, I get to go to uni and stay on campus in usually a room with someone else, another female who's studying usually the same course. We get fed, there's an amazing amount of opportunity and support at my uni. You get picked up from the airport and dropped off, and yeah, it's just really good. So otherwise I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, financially I just wouldn't be able to afford to fly to uni and then put myself up for a week and feed myself. And with surfing, basically what I've done so far is just, a lot of it has come from my own pocket. So as I said before, there's not much established out there just at the present moment. I think the main barrier that I probably faced, and I have faced when I've been studying to do my education, is the isolation of maybe, because I do it by correspondence. So in my town, there's only me that does education at the uni I go to. So I sort of don't have anyone to bounce my ideas off and to do study time with and stuff like that. So that's always been a big issue for me, because otherwise I just want to go surfing. But And yeah, just with surfing, just not having support from the mainstream as much as we would have hoped, you know, like there's just so much money in sport these days and there's just absolutely nothing for Indigenous surfing at the moment, which is really sad because, as I said, there's just so much going on out there and they can't support a little bit of an Indigenous thing in a country that's so huge and so based around surfing. It brings in a couple of billion each year here, so I mean, why wouldn't you support the Aboriginal people of this country? A lot of the Aboriginal ladies I know, a lot of the women who are influential in my life are just amazing and strong. Like, they've just come through so much and come out on top. You know, no money, whatever, you know, they still survive, they're still out there doing the right things by their children, by their family. So, like my aunties, they're amazing. They're just, I can't believe how amazing they are, and after everything that they've been through, you know, they've still got a smile at the end of the day. People like my mum, you know, she's had a hard trot, and she's just incredibly strong, and at the end of the day, she just wants what's best for the community, what's best for those around her. I think a big thing that could improve the women around me that I know, like what's going on with their lives, I think recognition. Like a lot of things just go unnoticed and that's a part of everyday life, but when they do go through a hard time and when they've got no money, or you know, when they can't afford to pay their you know, their rent or whatever, and everything just marches on, and then like what are they left with? So I think housing is a big issue. Like if I know my aunties are in some pretty not very nice houses and education and support, they're probably some really big things as well, just in general. I'm hoping that there will be a surfing just established amongst the mainstream surfing about Indigenous surfers, because we're an athletic bunch, we're just as good as everyone else, and I'd really like to see that there's so much more support for the females, for the young Koori girls that are out there trying to have a dig and they've got no money to get to comps or whatever. So I really hope that there's more support and just so much more established in the next 20 years. I hope to be part of that, so that's where I'd like to see change.